and welcome to the last edition of Faithfully Yours for the year 2015.
Yes, Maria, as they say, time flies and it has really flown by, and we are in the last program of 2015.
This Faithfully Yours, welcome once again, and we hope that the peace and the joy of the season still continues to remain with you throughout your whole life.
And to start with, Maria, we take up greetings that have been sent in by our dear listeners. Our listeners who have sent in Merry Christmas greetings are Horst and Monica Kuhn of Hamburg, Germany, and we also have Jörg Hoffman who has sent us Christmas and New Year greetings. And our regular listener, Li Meng, who writes in from Tianjin, China, has also sent us Christmas greetings.
Well, the General Overseas Service of All India Radio thanks each one of you for your greetings. And we too wish you a happy Christmas.
And now, Maria, shall we get down to serious business?
Yes, please. So the first mail in your hand has come in by email.
Yes. KP Munir, who sends in from Sharjah, UAE. He says, greetings from Sharjah, Emirates of UAE, celebrating the 44th National Day. Thank you very much. I would like to express my gratitude for sending a marvelous QSL card. And now this email sent in by KP Munir, who writes in from Gulf Asian English School, Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. And he says, warm greetings from Sharjah. Thank you for an excellent report on Diwali celebration. A quite impressive program and vast information included, which was heard on the 12th of November from the General Overseas Service. Festivals like these are the pillars of Indian secularism and harmony. News commentaries are superb. Best wishes, All India Radio, GOS. A detailed reception information report is attached herewith for your kind verification and have some audio files.
KP Munir, thank you for your email, but we did hear those clippings, sound clippings, and you had sent us recordings of our transmissions which were actually hardly audible. So our producer, Mr. Dominic Thomas, has requested our listeners to send in their feedback via an MP3 format recording attachment with their email, and we will play it right back on this program, and we will also reply to it. So we look forward to such recordings as requested by our producer, Mr. Dominic Thomas. Thank you all the same.
And now, Maria, staying in India, I pick up this next reception report sent in by N.S. Balamurli, who writes in from 1/35 Agraharam Street, Tanjavur, South India. He heard us on two occasions, on the 10th of October and then again on the 13th of October. The time 19 to 20:30 hours Indian Standard Time on the frequency 9690 kHz and has sent in a info of all fours. He heard the transmission to Southeast Asia. He says the transmission and audio was good. He heard the news, the day's commentary, and then press review and film songs. And on the 13th of October, he heard the news, the day's commentary, and has given the details, artist of the day, and songs by S.D. Burman, and then a talk on Rasayana therapy by Sunita Arya of Vaidyashala, Kotakal, Kerala.
N.S. Balamurli, you are one of our regular listeners, and as you rightly said, that the GOS transmission at that time was being beamed to East and Southeast Asia on 9,690 kHz in the 31-meter band. We also have the additional frequencies of 11,620 kHz in the 25-meter band and 13,710 kHz in the 22-meter band. This is for our transmission from 13:30 to 15 hours UTC. And this reception report certainly entitles you to a QSL card, which Divya Nambishan will be sending soon from her desk.
And now, Maria, another reception report from our regular listener, Andrew Kuznetsov, who writes in from Riga, Latvia. And he says, dear friends, I send to your attention the reception report of English transmission from AIR General Overseas Service on shortwave. If all the details mentioned by me are correct, I request for a QSL card. He heard us on December 5th, that was a Saturday. The time 20:52 to 21:39 hours UTC, and he has given the details that he heard. He heard Hindustani songs, followed by the station ID, and the news, followed by commentary, and then he also heard our program Focus, in which there was an interview on UN climate changes, prevention activities, and adoption of electric power nets, orchestral music. The frequencies he heard us were 11,620, 9,445, 11,670, and 9,950 kilohertz. And Maria, the SINPOs vary from a weak on 11,620 to a very good on 9,445 and 11,670 with all fours, and on 9,950 there was a weak signal. Yours sincerely, Andrew Kuznetsov.
Andrew Kuznetsov, thank you very much for your detailed reception report. And now let's get to some dissection of this, of the frequencies on which you heard. So 11,620 kilohertz with a weak signal was at 24332 was when we were beaming to Australia and New Zealand from 2045 to 22:30 hours UTC. That's the time when you heard our transmissions. And when we were beaming on 9,445 kilohertz, the SINPO has been good at 45444. At that time, it was targeted to UK and West Europe. And similarly, for 11,670 kilohertz in the 25-meter band, the SINPO has been great at all fours. So again, we were beaming to UK and West Europe. On 9,950 kilohertz, it was fair at 33433. But then that's where we request our listeners that in case they fail to track us on one frequency, do try the alternate frequency. And also that we are live on the internet now. So you can hear us on airworldservice.org, or you can even catch recorded versions of our transmission. Andrew Kuznetsov, very soon you will receive your QSL card, and thank you for sending us this reception report.
And so, Maria, look at the clock tells us it's time to go. So before that, we give our listeners the address on which they can write to us.
You can send in your snail mails minus any enclosures of international reply coupons or currency notes, and please send them to Faithfully Yours, care of the General Overseas Service, External Services Division, All India Radio, Post Box 500, Parliament Street, New Delhi 11001, India, or you can email us at gosesdair@yahoo.co.in. You can also send in your feedback and your comments on Facebook at allindiaradio.gos and use the Twitter handle at AIR World Service. And of course, you can catch us live at airworldservice.org. So before we leave, Surya,
from all of us at the General Overseas Service of All India Radio,
we wish you the peace and joy of the season and a very, very happy 2016. And so until next Monday, let's promise to remain faithfully yours in the new year 2016.
You just heard replies to listeners' letters in our program Faithfully Yours, presented by Maria Albina Michael and Surya G. Yadav. This broadcast came to you from the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.
The General Overseas Service of All India Radio wants to hear from you. Log on to our all-new website, www.airworldservice.org, to listen to our programs. Submit your comments and feedback and access our previous broadcasts to listeners across the world. Catch us live on airworldservice.org. You can also catch us on social media. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.